To celebrate Youth Month, tune into On Hold with Lindu and Ngongwane on the 18th of June 2023 as she focuses on elements of education pertaining the youth, focusing on bursaries, learnerships, internships, and in-service training. Don't miss out on this special. Set a reminder, subscribe, and like the On Hold channel. Remember, it's a date on the 18th of June 2023. Only on the On Hold channel on YouTube.
Your call is very important to us. Please hold.
Hello and welcome back to
On Hold with Lidio and
Hello and welcome back.
Please hold.
Hello,
On Hold.
welcome back. Hello and welcome back.
Please hold.
On Hold with Lidio and
Hello, welcome back. Hello, welcome back. Hello, welcome back.
Please hold.
Hello and hello. Happy Youth Month. I hope you had a very good long weekend. I certainly enjoyed the long weekend. It is Youth Month and I decided to do something different on the channel and just talk about and observe Youth Month, because also it's something that is close to my heart and close to my line of work that I do daily. So there was no way I could not use this platform to actually come and talk to you about what I am exposed to and share some of my knowledge about this. So if you are here for the first time, welcome. I know that you will stay with us in the channel, and if you are returning, please stay and share to those that will benefit from this specific video. We will see how this goes, and if it's possible, we'll have an insert every month, maybe once a month, around conversations like this. Let's see how it goes. So I mean, we all know Youth Month or Youth Day. The whole theme around the event is around education and around education for the youth. So, I mean, we can all agree that even today we still have challenges with our education. A lot of challenges, a lot of them. I mean, so many things are happening from our basic education to our higher education. Pass marks, I challenge the quality of education. There's just too many challenges. They have changed faces so many times since 1976, but they still exist. So I'm going to do my bit to also share my knowledge. I know that there are a whole lot of other experts out there that can share their parts. So now I want to carry on the theme of education and youth education and just look into what opportunities there can be. There are plenty of opportunities, guys, but I also know that the gap is in the education, maybe knowing really what is out there, how it works, where you can access it, who can access it. So I'm going to touch on a few things. Like I said in the promo, we'll talk about your scholarships, bursaries, in-service trainees. We'll talk to apprenticeship. We'll talk to learnerships. So we'll talk to a few of those. And what I will do is just to explain what they are, how they work, who they would benefit, etc. If there are any other questions around something, or maybe you're experiencing going through some challenges that maybe I will not address in this video, you can drop a comment and we will look at responding to that, and or maybe make it a theme for the next month. So just be with me for today, and then let's see how far we can get. All right, I've got notes so that I don't forget, and let's start with school. Let's start with schooling and what opportunities are there, especially funding. I think most of it I'll talk to funding and other opportunities. I think most people know about scholarships, but probably not understand what a scholarship is or where you can access it. There are scholarships for high schools or for schools, for children that go to schools, guys. And even though they don't get advertised so much, however, for children or for parents that are in primary school or high school, it is as easy as just going to the internet and just writing scholarships for grade whatever. And the companies that give scholarships, that have foundations, that have got programs that give scholarships will come through, and you will see a list, you will see criteria, and you can apply. Who can apply? For high school, most of the time high school, you want your child to go to a good high school, and it's mostly sometimes expensive. When your child is in grade 6, that's where you need the marks. So what I mean is grade 6, 4th term marks are very important for you as a parent when you have to apply for your child's high school scholarship. Because when they're in grade 7, around the first semester, when they're in term 1 or term 2, that's where most scholarships for high school come out. But they will ask you for the highest grade results, which is where your grade 6's results come in. So you need to tell your child to have good marks for grade 6. So don't wait until they're in grade 7 for the marks to apply. Grade 6 is the time. Most scholarships do, they're actually looking for low earning or income families, all right? It is not for people that have money. They actually, most of them will stipulate to say household overall income must be this much, maybe 20,000 rand, 25,000, or no more than 30,000 rands a month. So actually, it is for actually those families that are struggling financially. However, your child's results need to at least be good. It's not about getting 7s and 6s, but each scholarship will give you an indication to say we need a 5 or a 6 or something like that. I know there are many children that are performing very well and whose parents maybe do not afford to have the money for private schools, for high schools. This is a great opportunity for you to explore. So please, parents, get Googling. If your children are in grade 6, already grade 7, start looking and keeping an eye on those organizations. You can also start following them. Either you follow them on LinkedIn or you follow them on their website so that you are ready. But also speak to your children about the opportunity so that at least they've got something to look forward to and to work towards. Okay, that's high school. There are also high schools that give bursaries. Okay, so even if you've missed it in grade 6 or 7, you can still apply when they're in grade 7 or also when they're in grade 8. But the best opportunity is a bit earlier. So those for the other grades, it's up to the school, and you will always need to be checking in terms of where it is. Okay, so please, there's a lot, guys. I promise you, you won't be disappointed. You will find the organizations. Okay, so those are scholarships. Now you get to high school and you are going to finish your matric and go to tertiary. What you need, obviously, there's different funding opportunities. You've got NSFAS as well. That is now no longer a loan, so you don't have to pay back the fees. It's a grant. But you can also look for opportunities for bursaries with private organizations or corporate organizations. You need your grade 11 marks because you will have to apply for bursaries whilst you're in grade 12. So either your grade 11 final year end marks or your grade 12 mid-year marks, or even your March. They'll just ask for your latest. You must apply for bursaries before the end of the year so that you, at least by the end of the year, you know where you stand. I know most people think that you need to be like, again, you don't have to have 7s, guys. It's great. Yes, there are organizations that are looking for that, but it's not everything. It's not all organizations. And some organizations also have a lot of opportunities. And it's not only about 7s and 6s and marks. Some organizations will be very clear to say we are targeting households that do not have a big income, and so they will target that as a first point and then look at your results. At least an aggregate of 60% can get you in. So I know for sure that not all our children are are very academically, inclined, where they're going to get some, but there's opportunities, guys. You don't have to. At least if you maintain an aggregate of about 60%, that should be fine. From there onwards, you will still get an opportunity to get a bursary. You must look at the organization where you know that skill is given. So if you want to be a lawyer, you want to look for bursaries in that industry or in those organizations. If you are in finance or you want to do audits or anything like that, look for financial institutions. What will also help when you do that is that you will be placed correctly. You will be given the right opportunities, and also maybe your bursary also fund will make sense to where you are. So please start looking for bursaries a bit early, and don't be afraid to apply. Don't be scared and say, no, I'm not getting 7s and 6 and whatever. Just look at your aggregate. Don't be afraid to apply. Apply. Let the institution rather regret you, but apply. Many of them will give you an opportunity or will call you for interviews or something like that. Those are bursaries. Bursaries normally include your tuition. They're not always like that. I'm just generalizing, but they will pay for your school fees. They'll pay for accommodation, meals, and give you some allowances. And then some can give you many more. Some bursaries will even get you a laptop, anything. Depends on the company and how far they can go for you. Some bursaries offer you even tutoring. They pay for your tutoring whilst you're at universities, or pay for mentorships, that support that you may require. So look for organizations, start comparing, and see which organizations you want to associate with. LinkedIn works, guys. I know we have Instagram, we have Twitter, we have everything. For your career, LinkedIn is where you need to be. So don't wait until you are at corporate to join LinkedIn. Even when you're in high school, join. Follow the organizations, because that's where they also target their pipeline. That's where they also target the talent from the beginning, so that they can grow you until you get into their organization. Follow organizations that you like, see what they are about, look at the culture, what they're doing, and that's where they're actually going to post their opportunities. If they have any bursaries or internship opportunities, that's where they're going to post them. People don't use newspapers anymore. So you're not going to buy Sowetan or Sundays, and I don't even know if those still exist, but you're not going to get Sunday World and go look for a bursary there. They will advertise, and also the stuff that people share around, most of it are from company websites or LinkedIn. So if you can join there yourself, you can see the opportunities, but also you understand what the company also offers. All right, those are bursaries. Okay, if I didn't say anything, you can ask me. All right, now FET colleges, also students that go into FET or TVET colleges, you also have opportunities for bursaries in the same organizations. So also don't limit yourself or don't undermine that you are going to a TVET college, you're not going to a university, therefore you may not get bursaries. There are bursaries for TVET college students, even private college students. Okay, I know it becomes difficult for private colleges because they can become expensive, and most organizations try avoid that. They go with normal public universities, because at least they're a bit reasonable, but they offer. So get out there, shoot your shot, see which organization goes with you. Okay, now graduate internships. Most bursaries are structured that when you complete your bursary program, you can automatically become a graduate intern in the organization. that still happens, however, not so much when it comes to number of people or number of interns. You must remember that there is also legislation, BEE legislation, that encourages organizations to give bursaries. There's actually targets that are set for corporates to give bursaries to the youth. And this came out at the back of Fees Must Fall. So organizations do have to give bursaries. They've got targets, so they can see, depending on how much they make, what they decide to do or how many bursaries they need to offer. But that comes with another challenge, because they may be able to offer 20 bursaries, but they may not be able to host 20 graduate interns, if you know what I mean, because of maybe capacity of their own organization, or they can't host as many. Maybe there isn't enough space in the organization or enough work for people to do, but they will still offer bursaries. So you will find that some bursars cannot get into the organizations that they have bursaries with to do internships. It's still possible. So, which gives you then other options to find internship programs. So you must also look for internships on your final year or before you finish. You must start applying for internships. Don't wait until you graduate and then say, now I'm looking for an internship, because you're going to look for that internship the whole year or half a year for the following year. So start whilst you're still in university and apply for graduate internship opportunities. Don't apply to one, apply to as many as you can. Again, LinkedIn. Get in there, follow companies. If you don't go there, go straight to their websites. Check their websites regularly, the career sites. They will post when they have graduate internship programs, opportunities, and then you can apply. Now, internship opportunities normally are from 12 months to 24 months. If you have a 12 months program, it may be short and not enough to give you workplace experience, because most workplace experience will ask you for at least 2 years work experience. Most jobs, most permanent jobs will ask you for 2-year work experience. Okay, so 12 months in a graduate program is good, but it may require that you're looking for a second graduate internship program to give you the 24 months. Okay, so which means when your 12 months is almost about to end, you're going to need to apply again, but apply for another graduate intern, but you can also apply for other jobs. If it's between 18 to 24 months, that's a better opportunity, because when you are done with the 24 months, you've got the minimum requirement for what other permanent roles require, which is 24 months. Okay. Now, companies do what they can where they can. Remember, there's also operational reasons. It's also looking internally and what is possible. So if you have that opportunity, grab it, and it will give you a lot of advantages. Most people do get hired permanently from internship programs. So when you get the opportunity, please don't play with it. You are kind of like in an interview for 24 months. Whilst others get 1 hour to prove themselves, or 45 minutes of an interview, and then a decision is made on them, you have 12 months, 18 months, 24 months. You can make mistakes and recover in that time. So don't miss the opportunity. The day you walk into that organization, everybody's expecting you, especially as young as you are, because organizations need fresh ideas, agile ideas. So feel free to speak, to ask, to question. Don't feel like, oh, I need to conform. That's not what organizations are looking for. Yeah, they do want you to apply, but they also want you to bring new fresh ideas, okay? And it might be a little bit irritating and a joke, these youngsters, but let me tell you, it's important. Do it. So that's internships. If you are there's also what we call in-service training. In-service training is that time or workplace experience period that you require in order for you to graduate. So What other qualifications will ask you is especially technical ones. Electrical engineering, you guys will understand what I'm talking about. So you will do your first year, your second year, maybe you need to go to a workplace and then come back to school for a third year, then you graduate. Or you do your first year, second year, and then you have to wait to get workplace experience. And then only when you have your logbook completed and signed, that's when you can graduate. So that time where you need workplace experience is called the in-service training part. A lot of people who study through TVET colleges require this. So you will do your Ns, you'll do your N1 to 6, and then, or you will do your NCVs, anything, but then there'll be a time where you're required to go to the workplace and complete some time in the workplace for you to graduate. I know that it is a very big challenge to get those opportunities because most organizations will rather go with graduate interns who've completed and are ready to do the work. In-service training opportunities are very scarce, but they are there. I know that there are a lot of people who are also sitting and have not graduated, but have finished their theoretical learning because they do not get in-service training opportunities so that they can complete their qualification. My advice is keep looking. Also, follow companies. You might just not be looking in the right places. There are lots of opportunities where it is specific that we need an in-service training candidate for this job or for this work or for this kind of thing. I know a lot of organizations who have space or plans to take in-service trainees and graduate interns at the same time. So please look at the organizations, you will find it. One thing I want to ask is that you be flexible. I think in my experience is that for most students, you don't want to be flexible. You don't want to move and go to a different city or town. I don't know if it's the kids or if the parents that are not allowing this movement. And I have a feeling it's the parents, but we'll talk about that one another day. Please, you need to be flexible. You need to be able to move because some of the organizations you want to reach to may not be in the area that you live in. Yes, you will earn little money. You will not have enough money to rent or to do whatever. But if you have family that you can move in with, friends, take that time because it's only a short time so that you can graduate. Because then if you have not graduated, it's another problem. Because then you're not qualified to be an internship. To go into internship programs. Organizations that do take in-service trainees are able to also, when you graduate, convert you into a graduate intern immediately as well. So you can be with them as an in-service trainee, and when you're good, they keep you anyway for the next level, which is your graduate internship space. So also when you get that opportunity, don't waste it. But please, guys, you need to be flexible and you need to look. These opportunities are not going to bring themselves in. Then you have apprenticeships. Now, this is for technical training if you want to get your red seal or you get your artisanship. So these programs normally run for at least 3 years with an organization. Engineering spaces do this a lot, and so mechanical engineering, chemical engineering, electrical, civil, so you know them, guys. So apprenticeship programs are also very scarce, but they are there. So it's all about just targeting the right organizations. But yes, with an apprenticeship, you will then be in an organization. They will, for some organizations, they must expose you to theoretical training. So what I mean is you can get into an apprentice program with N2 or N3, you can. You just need to apply. And if you get there, so it depends on the organization, what they can work with. Some organizations will say, listen, I'd rather take an N4 because at least they've done enough theory to understand where we are as an organization. Some will say N3 because, again, we understand where we are. So if you're doing your Ns, you can apply for apprenticeship programs even before you get your N6s. You will, however, be required to complete your Ns. So if you get the opportunity, for some organizations, they will fund you to complete the remaining sets of semesters that that you don't have. They will fund you, but you will work as well. And then they will pay for your trade test prep, and they'll pay for your trade tests as well. And maybe if you fail your trade test, for some organizations will pay for one more retest. Okay. But please do apply. Also, for your trade test, even if you don't go for apprenticeship, for trade tests, guys, anytime from N2, you can start trying to finding opportunities for trade tests. N2, N3, you can start trying to find opportunities for that to get your artisanship. Okay, I think that is that. Before I talk to what's left is learnerships. Guys, learnerships are different to internship. Internship is graduate internship. So only if you've graduated can you get into a graduate internship program. Learnerships are also a new way that the government also brought in to try and bridge the gap. Learnerships are normally a 1-year program. And the nice part about a learnership is that you get to do your theory and practical at the same time. So the company that invites you or takes you in for a learnership must provide 30% of the time for you to do your theory and 70% of your time to do your practical, which means you don't need to come with prior qualifications. You can do learnerships. They start with NQF level 1. So even if you have grade 9 or so, you can start with a learnership in grade 10. It depends on the prerequisites of the qualification that you are doing. That's the nice part about a learnership. You can come not knowing anything, and the learnership will start from scratch. So it's a great way to get into different industries by not going to university. For example, if you wanted to be in the cybersecurity space and you don't have the results to go into university, a learnership program that offers that at the level that you are can be a good way of gaining the knowledge and the experience of that specific topic. Another great thing about learnerships is that you get your certificate that you can at the end of the program. So when you're doing a NQF level 3 for that year, when you're done, you get your certificate, you can use that already immediately to find jobs or other opportunities. So unlike maybe your universities or your TV, where you have to wait for 3 years or 4 years and only get your certificate later, I'm not saying that's bad, I'm just saying the good part about a learnership is at the end of each level, if you do NQF level 3, you get your certificate, you can do it. If you do NQF level 4, which is the next level, so at each point you've got an entry point with a certificate that you can use to go find another opportunity. Okay, you get paid a stipend when you are in a learnership. So you are working, you are learning, and you get paid a stipend. It's not a salary like most people want to have. They would complain that in a learnership it's paying too less. It's just to cover for your basic costs like transport. It's a stipend. It's not a salary. But it's still a good thing that you get some money, okay? Another good thing about it is, you know, when you don't have Matric and there's job opportunities ask you to have a Matric or equivalent. That equivalent is any qualification of NQF level 4. This is in the South African qualification framework, okay? NQF level 4, any qualification is equivalent to a Matric. So if you've done any qualification via a learnership at NQF level 5, you're already past the equivalent of a Matric. So with companies, they'll say, okay, we're looking for somebody with at least Matric or equivalent. And you find that in your normal schooling, basic schooling system, you only finished maybe with grade 10, but you had opportunities to go into a learnership that gives you an NQF level 5 or 6 qualification. You are good. You can apply for that job, okay? Because you have the equivalent or even a little bit more than the equivalent of a normal Matric, if it makes sense. So you're good there. If you don't have Matric and you were looking to maybe get a Matric or equivalent, learnership are a good option because you don't have to go to the organic Matric route to go do math, science, geography, and you've been out of school for a while. If you have some experience in a specific field, you can actually get into a learnership program that will give you the training on that field, which will end up giving you the equivalent of a matric. So people even in the workplace do get into learnerships. You could be working permanently, but you can be in a learnership because it's for both people that are working and not working. So you will know with the history of our country, you find that people have been working in an organization for a long time, but they don't have the formal qualifications that they need at the time, but they've got the experience and they've been working in that space for a long time. Now, to bridge that gap where they can get at least a qualification that you need, organizations go into learnership programs for them. So they will look and say, okay, what field are you in? Oh, you're in the field of hospitality. So maybe we'll go into a food and beverage learnership. Okay, that will help you. Maybe you started as a waiter or a waitress and you didn't have matric, but then you're in the space and you've been working for so long, but you need a qualification to be able to apply for further positions, because maybe to become a supervisor, you need at least to have a matric or equivalent. So most organizations do that for their employees. They bring in learnerships in the organization. They put their employees into a learnership program, facilitate that for them, and until they can qualify, because that also assists the organization to improve its education profile as an organization. So if in an organization you look at education profiles and you realize maybe you don't have enough of these grades or of this qualification, learnerships are a good way to improve people steadily. So you can say, this year, guys, we do an NQF level 3 qualification, we start. You take them through it, they get used to training again and practice, and then you do the next level 4 or 5 until wherever you can get to. So they're a good bridge to an equivalent of matric. And because they speak specifically to a field. So you don't go to other, speak specifically to a field. One thing to note is that not all qualifications in South Africa have a learnership version. It's only specific ones, and that gets decided by the Department of Labor to say how many and which which qualifications have a learnership version. It's not all of them. It's not like there's a learnership to become a doctor, unfortunately. So there's only specific qualifications, but there's a number of them, and there's a big number of them. You can find them even in the production space, you find them in the engineering space, you find them in the financial space, you find them in the administrative space, there's a lot. In IT spaces, there's quite a lot. System support, technical support, there's quite a lot you can venture into. So it is a good opportunity to look out for that will help you bridge and advance you. So that's what learnerships are for. Okay, so yeah, I think that's as much as I can share. I know there's a lot more. I can feel it in my head, but I'm also wary not to give out a lot of information. Let's first discuss. Talk to me in the comments and tell me what you want to know, but also ask the questions, and then depending on the questions we can decide where we need to go next. Maybe we can have a live and you guys can ask me questions directly, or maybe to explain certain things to you. I know that there are people who may be in specific programs, but they don't really understand what the program is meant to do for them or what their next opportunity can be. So maybe, for example, I'm in a learnership, but maybe you don't understand, I don't know what the next, where do I look next, things like that. Feel free to talk to me. I will share what I know. I will bring people that can also add to the conversation, just to enrich the conversation, who know a little bit better. As I said, I think I work with these often enough to know and understand, or have access to more information where we need. All right. Yeah, that's June 16th. Guys, it's cold. Unfortunately, that's why everything is on. But I hope and pray that this has helped you a lot. Share, please, with your children. Share with your families. so that we can get opportunities. I have a lot of examples in my head, like I said, but it depends what you want to know. So far, I hope everything was helpful, and enjoy the rest of Youth Month. Start Googling, please, for those opportunities, and checking out which companies you're going to start tagging and following and pestering them. Ask them directly, when are we going to get internships? When do you guys release your opportunities? So start talking. Okay, thank you guys. I hope this was very helpful, and we'll hear from you in the comments.